This is for the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is for the players, the PopCulturiusts PlayStation podcast. Over 40 years of playing PlayStation and 5+ years in that games media combined. I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join us in that PlayStation conversation, head on over to our Facebook, our Discord, Twitter, Instagram, all the links in the description below.
Down in there, that area. But if you want to, you can join the conversation as it happens. If you head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturists, you can watch us record this show live, as well as our other show, The Young and the Wrestlers. It's a WWE podcast. A bit quiet right now because we're doing a whole bunch of nothing. But it is good fun over there. You can jump in the chat. You can become part of the show. It's a great little experience. If you want to support us in other ways, you can share the conversation. You can tell your friends. You can tell your family about this little PlayStation podcast. And maybe they will give us a bit of a download. Maybe you go to your podcast services, give us a star rating that you think is appropriate. Maybe a written review. Help get the word. You right there? This is more burps coming out. This is take 2, by the way, because burps. If you want to support us financially, you can head over to patreon.com/thepopculturists, or you can also head over to our merchandise shop at popculturists.com/shop, where you can buy shirts, other sort of shit with our logos on it. Still don't recommend it. Australian dollar sucks a whole bunch of asshole right now, and it is based in the US, I believe. So
right, soon everyone's dollar is going to suck a whole bunch.
Yeah, dollar's going to worth nothing very, very soon. But now you're like, how are you, Max?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, man.
Got some good news this week.
Ooh!
So, for a while now, I thought with all this coronavirus stuff happening that my workplace is definitely one of those workplaces that can work from home quite easily.
I'm still not quite sure where you're going with this good news.
And I was like, this might be it. I got the phone call, and then it's you know what? We want you to work an extra 10 hours a week.
Oh, that's good. That is a good news.
Like, sweet. Sounds good. Sign me up. So now instead of starting at 3 a.m., I need to start at 1 a.m.
And what time do you finish?
8 a.m.
Oh, it's a good 7 hours. That's pretty
so I've all of a sudden gone from part-time to full-time.
Yay!
With that sweet overnight loading.
See, that's really handy. As like a cleaner, your job is more important than ever.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And that's very advantageous.
Hopefully I can keep everyone alive. At work.
See, that's the one thing. It's not like you walk, like you have to clean 400 desks. You walk to the next desk.
Got my Glen 20 and mask on.
Just fumigate the whole. That sounds like a good idea.
Like bug bombs, just Glen 20 bombs. Just like shake it up, throw them in the room, close the doors.
What's that from The Simpsons? When he, candy boys. Just blow it out with Glen 20. But that's good, man. That's totally a positive.
Yeah, so pretty stoked about that because I was a little worried for a while that I might be out of work for a bit. But no, got increased hours.
See, I'm the other way. I thought my work would be done by now too, and it isn't. I'm like, okay. No, I say that because, as everyone knows with my job, I do, interface, as the business says, with a lot of clients, like throughout a week and for extended periods of time. So I was under the impression that we'd be one of the first things to really start closing up as we start, like, hey, social distancing, man. And we're like, we have 20 people in like a small room. It's like, yeah. But no, so those services are still going. So I'm still in a job currently, which is good. But as full time, I'd still get paid regardless. Although maybe I'd get a couple of weeks off and just chill out. But that's not the case. Thankfully, though, my job, because with the admin side, I could still work from home. I'm like, fuck.
It's really hard for me to work from home.
Yeah, as a cleaner of other people's businesses, like,
I just invest in some Roombas. Go.
But anyways, what else has been going on, man?
My kid has now decided that she's old enough to try and sit up.
Yeah, rad.
She can't.
No.
But she has to be sit up every time now. So that's kind of frustrating a little bit, but also...
Can she support herself a little bit?
Yeah, so if you hold her and you put your hands around her stomach, she'll sit up straight, and then she'll do the...
So she corrects herself, or do you got to bring her back in?
Sometimes you got to bring her back in, but most of the time she can hold herself steady. But when you put her on the floor to have some floor time, she's just like just doing crunches, trying to sit up. She just can't do it.
Jacked.
So yeah, good times.
Yeah. Well, into update from last week. So last week I mentioned that I've decided to head into a weight loss journey, which is totally the wrong time to do it, by the way. It's just my luck that I get the motivation to really push through to like, I'm going to be better, I'm going to eat better, I'm going to do better, world's collapsing.
You've actually picked a really good time because there's no shortages of the shakes.
That's true. So as
every other food.
So as I mentioned last week, I have started the Man Shake. So to sort of help continue my weight loss journey. I'm up to 6 kilograms. So I did lose like 2 before this whole thing started. We just a change in diet, and then with the shakes, it's been another 4 over the last week. So it's good. Like I feel good, I feel better, and like the shakes are really nice, which is great because I was expecting they would taste like bumhole. They don't. They taste bumhole individually, but you put them together, you get 2 flavors, you get chocolate and strawberry, and then you put them together like, oh, that's pretty nice. I also picked up coffee today because there's a sampler box you can buy at Coles. I was like, I'm going to try the coffee one. It actually tastes like coffee. I'm going to buy a whole bag, you. But, it's working really well. I'm staying motivated. I imagine with 6 kilos, I probably look different. I don't see it. I just see me, which isn't helping. Because
yeah,
like I imagine like I'm probably a bit less in the face. Like my pants and shirts fit different, which is good. So I guess there is happening, but it's one of those things because you always look at yourself, you never see. But it is cool. I'm hoping to keep going. I'm going to go this for as long as I can. The idea is that when PAX comes around, if it happens, I'm going to look fucking shit hot.
We want to be pretty at PAX.
I want to be pretty at PAX. That's my goal. I'm going to do see how many kilos I can lose come PAX. So then, if I happen to be on stage again this year, sweet, I'm gonna look hot. If we have to share a hotel room, which we are, I want to take up the least amount of floor space as possible. And it's cool. And then when I've got friends like a good friend of the show, the Mullet Show, and Craig, who's in the chat, he's on the shakes now as well. But he's doing some extra stuff as well. So he has lost 16.5 kilos since the start of the year, which is absolutely. It's ridiculous, and I'm very, very proud of him, and I'm like truly, I'm very, very proud. But it's been great to have him to be that support network as this keeps going, because I could fuck the flip of a switch. I am so unmotivated that I could be like, nah. And next thing you know, I'm like balls deep into a bag of Doritos, So it's very cool to be doing it alongside a friend. Then we've both got each other's back. So even though we're like, have you tried this flavor? Have you tried this flavor? Like but it's still enough to keep that momentum going.
Yeah, no, that's good.
But no, it feels it does feel good. It feels really good. It also feels good. Play games. Played games this week, Max?
Yeah, one. I played one game since our Doom Eternal review dropped.
Everyone go check that out, by the way, on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/popculturiusts, a good Doom Eternal review.
I picked up
about 30 minutes.
Nioh 2.
Oh yeah, so thank you to PlayStation Australia for providing us the code for Nioh 2.
And that is all I've been playing all week. And
hang on, big thank you for Omega Darkblade 64 for the follow. Thank you, sir. Hope you enjoy the show.
And it's rad.
Yeah.
It's so good. I mean, I suck, but it's so good. So I've spent probably close to 10 to 12 hours with it now, and I've beaten 2 levels. So, the levels, having it leveled as opposed to the other Soulsborne styles of games where they're all open world, kind of keeps you a bit more focused, which is really good. I like that. Gives you a goal, and the levels are really fun. Lots of exploration, lots of enemies, lots of stuff to do, lots of hidden objects to find. And then I'll spend 3 hours trying to kill the boss to get to the next level.
All right, so in that case, how many hours you put into it?
So about 12 hours.
And how many levels are you in?
3.
Rad.
I'm so bad at it.
So I have it downloaded as well. When the code came through, I gave you the heads up. We put it on the joint account. I downloaded it. You downloaded it. I haven't touched it because I normally get my ass handed to me. But I'm glad that you're giving it a red hot go because it kind of fits all the boxes for you. Similar to like Nioh 1, I imagine. It's the cool sort of, I want to say feudal Japan. Is that correct?
Yep.
Like the aesthetic and as well as the gameplay.
So it's just, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to try and finish it. Unlike Nioh 1, I could never get around to finishing that. Nioh 2, I'm going to see through. And they've changed enough of the stuff from number 1 that it kind of makes a little bit more sense now. They've changed the way some of the skill trees work. They've changed the way how the living weapon works. They've completely changed that. It's now called yokai shift. Mm-hmm. So instead of just your weapon kind of becoming crazy like it did in number 1, you turn into a demon. Whoa, and that just makes you feel so rad. It's been heaps of fun, but I've been stuck for the last 4 hours on a single boss that I can't seem to wrap my head around it.
Well, as I said, like with Nioh 1, I was incredibly bad at it. Like, what's the first boss you fight?
I don't.
Some horn-looking motherfucker.
Oh yeah, it's like the towerist thing on top of the prison.
Correct. Yeah. So I get through the prison. That part was fun. And I get to the top, and he's like, "Hey, I'm like, fuck my face." Buddy, what's in the chat goes, does it play easier or harder than Sekiro?
It depends. So with Sekiro, obviously everything's about staggering your opponent and then you get the insta-kill. In this, it's much more about managing your own ki or stamina. Mm-hmm. So they've got it's the same as in the first one where if you ki pulse at the right time, after you've done a combo, you instantly get all your stamina or ki back instantaneously. And if you mess that up, all your stamina's gone, and then you kind of just get pooped on. So it depends on how good you are at that single mechanic.
So it sounds a lot. So I guess the big thing with these whole Soulsborne
in play style, it plays very similar to Sekiro.
Well, I mean, in the whole Soulsborne style would be the, it's all about the timing and the whatever. I guess that's the same thing. It's continuation of that. Yeah. Excellent. All right. So when you said those, I'm just trying to grasp my head around these changes. So are these changes good, however? Have they? Do you believe from the small experience, like obviously 12 hours is a long time, but it's only so many levels, is it an improvement over 1?
In my opinion, yes. I found it much more easier to wrap my head around the new systems than what the old systems were.
That's good.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I hope to check it out at some point, but also probably to get my ass handed to me, so I might not. It is on there ready to go. If lockdown comes in and I want to scream and break something, I think I might check it out.
What have you been playing?
So my week has been pretty quiet. So we had the Doom review go up on Wednesday morning. So I was pretty much playing that up until Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I did, as we said, we did get credits on that. So that's my fourth or fifth credits for the year, which is awesome. Game's fantastic. Game's fucking fantastic. So I did go back and I'm starting to just go through the level again to get collectibles. Because aside from the battle mode stuff, which is the online area, it's pretty straightforward. Like I should be able to, I got 50% of the trophies just by playing it.
Yeah.
So I think I can at least get 75% of them, excluding the online ones, because fuck that. So I also want to see what the Unmaker does. So in the game, there is a weapon in the Fortress of Doom, which is your home base, that you get if you beat the Slayer rooms, which are these little bonus levels throughout each level. And there's 12 of them. Then you unlock the Unmaker. I don't know what it. Have you cracked it yet?
I've got 3. I've unlocked 3 of the 6 keys.
Yeah, I'm on 4. So
I'm a little bit behind.
Oh, but I don't know what it does, and I need to see it. I want to just fuck things days up. I want to fucking ruin everything. But yeah, so I've unlocked a bunch of skins and stuff as well. I'm pretty much entirely the body. I've almost unlocked all my suit abilities. All mods on guns are done at this point. It's just ticking up those last couple of things. So I did stream it for a little bit once the streaming embargo dropped on Thursday night. But it was one of those weird lines of like, you can't stream it until 10. I'm like, no worries. Boot up Twitch. Barjo, I Fall from Grace, like Grims, all these other Australians are streaming. I'm like, that's a bit bum. So then I booted up at 10, like as per the embargo, and I streamed it for 3 people, and which is great. I enjoyed it. I was great chatting to those 3 people. It's one of those things I'm like, this is Doom. This should be going all right. But that's cool. That's cool. I'm playing some more MLB The Show, kicking off my season. As I was talking about last time, I'm now drafted under the Detroit Tigers banner as I wanted to because that's my team. So I'm playing for the Erie Seawolves, which is another small local team in that area. I'm going all right. I'm not doing too well. I'm still up and coming. That's what's important.
Do you play? Because I've never played like a road to the show. Mm-hmm. Do you play as an all-rounder or
you can specialize?
Okay.
So the position that I normally go for when I'm playing, so I normally play shortstop, which is the guy that stands between second and third base. The reason I do that is because that's where a big majority of the action happens. So in terms of if you play it as a game, a lot more balls are going to come your way, right? So if you're so if you're playing out of field, there's less likely, and even then, it's pretty much you running and catching a fly
like in a
ball.
real game of baseball,
like a real ball. There's not a whole lot to do out in the outfield. So the shortstop, even if it gives me a bit more to play when I get into a fielding position. As a hitter, I balance it between sort of power and there's two ways. There's power and there's contact. So contact is a good, just kind of like a good hit, and a power is just like a wallop that shit. So I think the pre-selection the guy I chose was a power hitter. So the idea that he just wails that shit. So I tried to design him around being a clutch sort of hitter. Yeah. The idea is, I think I come in at about fourth in the nine player roster. So ideally, if the first three batters up, they get on base. I come in, hit it out, get everyone in. That's sort of the character that I wanted to create, because I think it's good because it's handy. Or even because like third and fourth in terms of the batting order are probably the best places to be for that reason. Because they are the important. They can really get that inning up and going, especially at the start. Especially get the games going, especially at those early innings. But yeah, and like the stat and speed are sort of my big thing. So big hitting, fast speed is what I aim for. So that way I can steal bases. Just kind of, it's good fun. Game's great. Love the game so much. And then on top of that, I did buy Animal Crossing. I played about an hour of it, not even. They'd be exaggerating, probably like half an hour. I was playing it in the bed, and I'm like, I'm so not used to handheld games, man. It's been so long since I played a handheld. So it's in here, it's under the telly, it's hooked up to here.
I was going to say, you can play it in bed and not in handheld mode. Just take the Joy-Cons off and set it up on your bedside table.
No, so I did set it up in here. So I'll play hopefully some this afternoon. Sort of give my island a whirl, because apparently it's a big old Betson game, which I can see the tastes of how it makes it a Betson game. And then they also announced this week that Story of Seasons, which is the new name for the same guys that made Harvest Moon, is due to copyright issues and trademarks. They have a new name in the West. So Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town, a straight up remake of an old Harvest Moon game. Take my money. That comes out in a couple of months. So fucking keen as mustard for that one. But the other thing I played this week, Resident Evil 3 Remake Demo, up now on the internets. You go check out your PS. And there's also the open beta for the Resistance, the multiplayer mode.
Next week.
You can download that, but you can't play it yet. You can play it as of next week. Yeah. 27th.
I've been meaning to ask you, did you try out the Moving Out demo?
I have it downloaded.
That went live this week as well, didn't
it? Yeah, we have it downloaded. We did play it at work, and the guys at work loved it because they're the difficulty is that I played Moving Out. We went for a beta test on the back end of last year. Went to their Melbourne offices and gave it a whirl. Game's fantastic. So it's like Overcooked, but just dumb. It's so fun. So the guys at work were really enjoying the ability to like yeet shit out of the building. So they're like, all right, here's a TV. And they just like peg it out the window. So they would have someone outside whose job was to catch the shit that came through the window, and they would then cart it into the...
Sounds like such a good party game.
It really is. So we played at work. So we played 4 people. 2 inside, 2 outside. Someone would just throw couches and shit through the window. They grab it and load it into the thing. Where the other person it actually worked out really quick. Once they worked it, they could throw it. The first round. They were like carrying it through the doors and stuff. I'm like, oh, how do we get this L couch through the door? And then one guy fell through the window. And went, I have an idea. It's like throwing shit. It's an absolute blast. I cannot wait. I think it comes out the end of next month. That comes at the end of April. I cannot wait to play more moving out. It's so much fun. I'm going to stream the fuck out.
Yeah, I'll have to come over and play that on stream.
We still need to finish up Tools Up too. But at least that moving out is so good. Because I know Buddy Watson in the chat. I know he's a bit of a hard on for it too, which is brilliant. Resident Evil 3 demo. It was very, very cool. It looks so fucking good. It looks so good. In the chat, I'm bored. Yup. Says hi if you can read this. Hey man, how you doing?
What's going on?
So the demo is fantastic. It looks brilliant. It looks just as good as Resident Evil 2 Remake. So that already got my nips hard. And then on top of that, it just played well. So you can really feel some minor differences that they've changed from 2 to 3. One of the big things is being the dodge. So Claire has the ability to dodge attack. So previously, if you're playing Leon in the second one, or even not Claire, because Claire's in the first, in them too, Jill. That's right. So Jill can dodge.
Yeah, cool. I'm following. Yeah,
sorry, I just got myself confused. But yeah, so Jill can dodge. So if you're playing Claire or Leon in the second, and someone comes to you like, you gotta either back away and shoot at them, where at least you can go suck off, and then just like duck out of the way, and then start roll around on the back of their head. So that completely changes. It instantly made me play more aggressive, which I really shouldn't have, because I fucking died. So the big difference here is the demo itself is compared to the likes of the GCPD, the RCPD. Not the Gotham City Police Department, the Raccoon City Police Department. There's so many zombies, but there's only so much room because you're inside. Yeah. So there's like an expected amount of zombies in that building. Where this demo, you were in the streets. So there is just fuckers everywhere. Everywhere. Which is brilliant. So every corner's like, and then there's just more. And they keep coming at you. And you're just like, so there is... In terms of really laying down that risk and reward of like, do I keep my ammo? Do I just blast my way through it? Is awesome fun. Because like it's now starting to hit harder. Like in Resident Evil 2, because once again, aside from the remakes, I have never played them. I always found there was enough ammo. It was getting tight. It would get tight, really tight, but I always had ammo.
What difficulty were you playing on?
Like normal.
Because obviously, the harder your difficulty, the less ammo.
So I was playing normal, like right down the middle. With the demo, I ran out fast. Yeah. Because there's just so many ammo. So many zombies. So I was like, I'm gonna play the exact same way. Pew 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 pew. I regret everything I've just done. But the map itself is nice and large. And there's a lot like. For the demo at least, there's a lot of sprawling areas, a lot of different buildings. There's a bunch of collectibles that are just in this demo.
That's good.
It's a blast. You get to see Nemesis, who's the big bad, and boy does he fuck you up. So like I think there's a part of the demo that kind of forces you can either get here at this point and you might see him only at the end, or he'll like just come and get you at some point. So I'm
you along.
So I'm piss farting around, doing whatever, and I open a door and he's there. I'm like, oh damn.
You just close the door.
Yeah. So the big difference compared to the Tyrant or Mr. X in 2, Nemesis is like just jumps at you. He's fast, he's brutal, he just kicks the shit out of you. God, I can't wait for this game.
That's good to hear. Oh, I haven't touched the demo yet. I kind of want to go in clean. I've watched no trailers. I've watched nothing. I don't even remember. I don't even recall if I played the original Resident Evil 3 when I was younger. So I'm going in completely blind. I'm super keen.
Well, I had the same idea, but then I remembered, having never played it before, this demo is going to mean nothing to me. Yeah. It's not like, oh, this is how they've handled this. I'm like, I just want to play it. So I played it. Like in terms of the story, I'm like, I have no context for any of this.
Because obviously I was going to do the same thing with Final Fantasy VII, and then I caved as soon as the demo came out. I'm just like, oh, I have to play this now.
Because it's cool. So the delivery, like in terms of the character delivery, it's great. Like Jill's cool. I like the other guy who can't remember his name, but he like sounds like Keanu Reeves, which makes me chuckle.
So is it the same? It's the same camera style as the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah, man, third person over the shoulder. Nice. Sort of. This feels good. Feels good. It's out on the Moving Out chats. Buddy goes, yeah, I dig it. 3 starred and did all the bonus objectives in all of Moving Out levels demo. Hell yeah. Max that shit.
So cute.
Very, very cool. But anyway, that's something about what we've been playing this week. Let's get into the news in a section we call Inform the Players. We tell you about what happened this week in PlayStation. Now, holy fuck, is there a lot?
So much. I mean, a lot of it obviously is the lead topic here. But,
yeah, so we'll pretty much the rest of the show is going to be news.
Yeah, yeah, very much. So we've got some rumors of this year's Call of Duty reboot. Apparently it's going to be a Black Ops reboot.
Alright.
So last year, rumors circulated that the 2020 title will be a return to the Black Ops universe, primarily developed by Treyarch and will be set during the Cold War. That's all sounding a little more likely as a new video from the Gaming Revolution brings up many of the same points. There's a fair amount to digest from the video, but I'll run you through some of the main points of interest. According to the Gaming Revolution and his sources, this year's entry into the franchise will be a gritty reboot of Call of Duty Black Ops. It marks the same way as 2019's Call of Duty Modern Warfare. The eventual playthrough in the campaign will allegedly be based on the events during the Cold War and Vietnam War. The story will be entirely new. Characters from the original Black Ops games will make a return with new actors, as with Captain Price did in this year's Modern Warfare. Finally, the codename for the game is apparently Project Zeus, but the likely official title will simply be Call of Duty Black Ops. The video goes on to talk about multiplayer details, but above are the key things about what the game will be. It's worth noting that none of this could turn out to be true, but it does tally with what's been said in the past. Given that Treyarch is leading development on this project, a Black Ops game seems most likely, and the success of Modern Warfare's return means another reboot makes sense. Still, take it with a grain of salt.
So this is more up your alley, because you were a big Black Ops fan back in the day.
So, I think in the same way that Modern Warfare, the kind of gritty reboot that Modern Warfare had this year, I think it would work for Black Ops. Treyarch tend to look after their franchises when it comes to Call of Duty. I'd like to see a return to form. Obviously, the earlier Black Opses are much better than the newer ones, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And I mean, as long as there's zombies, I'm always keen.
How do you feel about them once again returning to it? Like granted they've done like 20 games, but do you have an issue with them going back?
Well, no. At some point they run out of content. Like they tried the future stuff and no one liked that. Like
sucked.
No one likes that stuff. So you've got a choice of World War One, World War Two, Cold War, Vietnam. Like that's it. That's all you've got. So it's not like they have a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of
Why do they do what Assassin's Creed 3 did and go to the American Revolution when just using muskets? Sounds horrible. Don't do that.
Yeah, it sounds terrible. Don't do that at all. Look, a return to form might be what they need. I mean, they hit Black Ops 4. 3 was pretty average. 4 wasn't that great.
I had no campaign.
A return to form could be exactly what they need.
Well, you say that
because look at how well Modern Warfare did this year.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, it's like, when you say like return to form, these guys they still release the best selling game of the year every year, and that never changes. So it is this weird line that it's cool that they're making the adaptations and they're changing, but
I mean because it's an annual release, people always upgrade to the latest one anyway.
Very true.
Like it's just what it is. I mean, now with obviously Warzone being a free-to-play standalone battle royale in the Call of Duty universe, that might change things up. But they're still looking for those annual releases that people get drawn to for multiplayer more than single player, I would imagine.
Craig goes, I wouldn't use the 1,000+ Assassin's Creed games as inspiration. Good point. because it makes it worse. Look, I'm interested. I would like to see how, because I think the back in the day, you and I and a bunch of our friends, we would just jam that multiplayer all the time. I would always
Back when it was good.
Yeah, I would always come in a comfortable 9th, but it was good fun. I guess that for us that was the multiplayer. Like campaign was pretty good too, but our memories of Black Ops are all multiplayer focused. Anyway, I'm open to it. You read that tweet, I'm gonna go blow my nose.
I'm open to it as well. Next up, Twitter is mad at Naughty Dog.
Oh no!
Developer Naughty Dog posted what seemed like a pretty innocuous tweet about its upcoming PlayStation 4 exclusive, The Last of Us Part 2. In said tweet, the studio talks about Ellie's more agile gameplay with the ability to reach more areas and overcome more obstacles than Joel did in the first game. It's something we already know about, but Naughty Dog reiterated the information alongside a short snippet of gameplay. Quote, in The Last of Us Part 2, Ellie is more agile in combat and when exploring the world, allowing us to introduce new verticality and discoverable areas to environments as you climb and jump over obstacles. It's a perfectly reasonable tweet, but the replies make it clear that people aren't pleased about it. Some feel that the studio's emphasis on this aspect of the game make it seem outdated. Ellie can jump and climb on things? Big deal, right? The point isn't that the game is that it's some game-changing revelation. It's simply something new for the sequel given Ellie's small build. Another point of contention among avid Twitterers is the snow deformation visible in the video. The snow appears to snap into place around Ellie's feet, and then when she leaps atop a large structure, the white powder flattens in a strange way as she makes an impact. Granted, it doesn't look great, but the understanding is the clip is from last September's gameplay videos, so it probably doesn't represent the current point of the game.
Yeah, because I saw that clip and I was like, oh.
Yeah, so it's from last September's build. So,
but why are they showcasing that now?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's, 3-6 months ago. Well, like, hey, this is what the game looks like 6 months ago. Then why are you showing it now, mate?
I mean, why do we need to know that Ellie can jump and climb now?
Well, yeah.
Like a lot of people saying, it's nothing new. Games have been doing this for quite some time.
Yeah,
yes,
like
it's new to your game.
Yeah, and there's that weird line of like trying to sell what's new in your current game compared to what's new everywhere. Because like, look at this sweet feature we have. It's like, yeah, but others have that. It doesn't change my excitement for the game. I'm still keen as hell.
No, yeah, same.
But it is.
It was weird messaging so close to its. It's odd for them to show clips of such an old build. Like,
Agreed.
Surely they would have something slightly updated by now.
Agreed. Completely agree. Who knows?
But the internet can be a callous place.
Yeah, the internet does suck ass most of the time. All right, now this is the small part of the section of the news where Max, because he writes the news now, where it used to be Josh. So Max writes it, so he gets to pick stuff that interests him the most. So get ready for 45 minutes of Final Fantasy.
Like, there's not that much. So with
42 minutes.
With the release date of Final Fantasy VII Remake fast approaching, Square Enix has issued a statement with regards to the ongoing coronavirus situation and how it could impact the game's launch. The good news is that Final Fantasy VII Remake has not been delayed. It's still set to release on the 10th of April. The bad news is, however, if you've ordered a physical copy of the game, you may not be getting it at launch. This is largely due to the fact that various retailers are now having to prioritize the stocking of necessities, and obviously video games do not fall into that category.
Or unless you're GameStop. Did you hear about that today? Yeah. So GameStop in the US have made the claim that they are an essential service in this Voldemort virus time, therefore their staff must work, and they must work ridiculous hours. And if they do shut down, they are advised to boycott that idea and come into work anyway.
They have been told if law enforcement come into the store to close them down, they have been told to hand over a piece of paper that says we are essential.
Drawn in crayon, probably.
Please call our head office.
It is a weird line. Because, game's really handy right now. Non-essential.
No. Did you see a couple of their stores also broke release date for Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing? Because they didn't want to... They were worried that too many people were going to show up at once. So they're like, social distancing, let's just a day early, people can come and get it now.
Yeah, so I think they released Doom a day early, and then Animal Crossing will come out on the Friday.
Okay.
Just the idea of spreading it out a bit. Because even though when I went in to get Animal Crossing on Friday, I noticed the exact same thing. Like, the line was fucking huge.
Yeah, yes, because I was at eBay over the weekend to get a webcam. The people in front of me were
because even we are getting cautious. So for any reason, if Max is unable to come to my house to record, we needed to look at alternatives, just like everybody else is. And we're very lucky that we could do this remotely. Like the best thing about this show is being in the same room, but if push come to shove, we could do it remotely.
Yeah. So the people in front of me were actually were asking, when's it coming out? And he's like, I would pre-order it because we currently have 170 pre-orders for this game.
For what?
For Animal Crossing.
Oh, shit.
He's like, the line's going to be huge. He's like, at this point, we're going to have 3 stock on the shelf. So if you want one, you got to pre-order it.
I love how, because I walked in, like, granted, I did walk in as it opened. I went, hey, can I have Animal Crossing? Yeah, sure, here you go. Saying that, though, Josh... previous co-host of the show, who I think he's visiting this weekend, which is exciting. I haven't seen him in weeks. He's like, I can't find it. I can't find it fucking anywhere. I'm like, what do you want, mine? I'll just buy it digitally. I don't give a shit. But yeah, apparently it's bunkers out there trying to get a hold of Doom and Animal Crossing. But sucks. Double sucks if Final Fantasy, if any, mostly because A, it comes out on Good Friday here, and 2. If you can't get physical on launch day, digital sales in Australia suddenly 100%.
Yeah, pretty much. So some more Final Fantasy VII news. Final Fantasy VII Remake will introduce players to some entirely new areas inside of Midgar. With the game taking place exclusively within the city walls, Square Enix has had to expand the location significantly. Not only are places from the original title being fleshed out, but whole new sections of Midgar will also be yours to explore. Director Tetsuya Nomura explains in a recent developer video, quote, I thought it would be good to open up some of the locations, so players can explore more of those places that they wanted to see when they played the original. People wanted to go into this building or see that facility, so I think you'll get even more of a feel for Midgar than you did the first time around. In fact, one of these new locations has only just been revealed. The game's latest screenshots show off a place called the Corneo Coliseum, Don Corneo's own fighting arena. It'll be interesting to see just how big Midgar is in the Final Fantasy VII Remake. So keen.
None of that means anything to me.
So keen.
Is that good news? Is that good news, Max?
Yeah. When it first came out and they're like, you're just going to be in the city, I was super skeptical because I'm like, it's not that long of a portion of the game where you actually spend inside the main city. So to see them saying this is a full-size game, it's going to take you X amount of hours, but you're just in the city, I'm like, really? How? This is how. We got more to explore. Keen.
You have no concerns about how these additional rooms and or buildings will affect the overall narrative of Final Fantasy VII?
No, give me some more deep lore. Give it all to me. Give it all to me.
So you brought these news pieces in and you're not even saying a whole bunch. Come on.
There's not much to say. I don't want to go too far into it. I don't want to spoil anything for other people. It's just, it's good to know that they've realized that it's such a small part of this game that they're putting in the effort and the love to be like, all this stuff that you wanted to explore the first time around, you're now going to get to.
I like it.
It's so good.
I like it.
What I don't like, however, is that the Uncharted movie has been delayed again. If it isn't numerous directors passing the baton between one another that's delaying the Uncharted movie, it's now real-life world events. Production on the film, which was scheduled to begin filming later this month, has been halted because of the Voldemort virus. The movie starring Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg... The movie starring Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg, and Antonio Banderas has had its pre-production stage pushed back by 6 weeks, but it's not yet known whether this will affect the release date of the 21st of March 2020 2021, sorry, or not. Sony was said to be, quote, very excited about the project in a recent interview with the head of PlayStation Worldwide Studios, Herman Holst, but we may need to wait even longer to see what PlayStation Productions has cooking up behind the scenes. Man, this movie is never coming out.
What a kick in the dick.
Between like the
Uncharted.
30 million directors that it's had. and now the world is against it.
Yeah, no, look, it is rough. It is super rough because, like, yeah, we're filming in 4 weeks. Like, sick. No, we're sick. We can't do it. So that's not going well. It sucks super, super hard for the Uncharted film because we didn't discuss about Antonio Banderas being involved. But due to Uncharted's history in terms of its characters being of sort of like not white on average, hey, they're not. I got no complaints because I really like the games. But like, I'm like, ooh, Antonio Banderas is going to be the bad guy. Give me that.
Give me that.
Yeah, I want bad guy Banderas. I like saying his name fun.
Look, it's a shame that this. Because obviously I would love to see an Uncharted movie. It's such a shame that it's just been riddled with disaster after disaster.
The one advantage is, as the longer that it takes to make this movie, Mark Wahlberg will look more and more like Sully because he will just age so much more.
So this movie is Uncharted, the cursed film, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Like, I'm trying to think of a good pun name about a curse, but I got nothing. Because nothing. Because there's been no discussion about further discussion. Sorry, about what the movie is going to be about. We've got a young Drake, obviously with Tom Holland, and a younger Sully with old Marky Mark. But other than that, there's no finer details. So it's not as if we can be like, oh, why we can't speculate at all because I don't think they have a script, to be honest. And it does. It really sucks because it is one of those things. The Voldemort virus, because it's the virus we cannot speak its name, has really affected everything.
Yeah,
like it's affected movies and game development and everything, right? So in terms of entertainment space, it sucks, and that means a bunch of movies and TV that were in development have since been delayed. And it's a bummer because Uncharted got kicked in the bum. New Mutants, that Fox movie. Man,
Netflix's Witch has been delayed now.
Yeah,
I already had to wait a year for it. Now it's going to be longer.
No, like that's when it became uncool. Half the internet were like, "Whoa, Tom Hanks has the Voldemort virus." Man, this is getting serious. Like, no, it wasn't serious until they started. Until they were like, "Witch has been delayed." I'm like, no, it's real now.
So I'm gonna skip ahead to the quick bits because the rest of the news is gonna be hardcore. So Untitled Goose Game just won the coveted Game of the Year category at the Game Developers Choice Awards.
Yeah, you go Goose Game.
Such a
Melbourne,
Australia. That's pretty much it. The rest are Resident Evil 3 demo is out now. Go get it.
We already talked about it.
And the Trials of Mana demo is out now for those big old nerds.
Yeah, big old weebs like you.
Big old weebs.
Are you going to check it out?
I don't have time.
You're
I'm just so deep in Nioh.
We were discussing this before we went live. So because Max is new to this games biz thing, so I've been doing it for the better part of like 5+ years now. So I've come to learn and understand the balance of playing games that you want versus playing games you need to review, and then how you structure your life around that. And it was very funny today for the first time because now that a couple of codes have come our way, so you've actually started to see firsthand what happens when you're like, hey, here's 3 games this week. Like, fuck.
Yeah, because obviously I knew the video for Doom was coming out, so I went hard on that, and then as soon as we record, I'm like, I'm just diving into Nioh 2 now.
Yeah, the review's done. Nioh time.
Nioh time. Because I'm like, I literally put off downloading it until after we recorded the Doom thing. Because I'm like, if I download Nioh 2, I'm just gonna play that, and I know myself well enough to be like, I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna download it yet. Do what I need to do. And then,
but the one advantage, even if you play a metric fuck ton of Nioh 2, still content. Yeah. Because that code was provided to us. We have to review it at some point.
Oh yeah. I'll probably be ready next week. Hopefully.
You ready for a full blown review?
Unless I get hardcore stuck again, I should be good.
Sick. Get excited. But anyways, that is the end of the news section, Max. So let's have a chat to the players about PS5. So, Thursday morning, 3 a.m., there was a small conference / PowerPoint presentation where Mark Cerny got up in front of a cardboard digital crown.
Yeah, I was going to say, are they real people? Because they were moving at times.
Yeah.
Because I was looking, I'm like,
it's clearly
are these fake people? And
like
then,
a small PNG.
And then all of a sudden it'll just shift to the left. I'm like, I don't know. He could be real and just jerked his head really quick.
I have a feeling it was a mix of fake and like freeze frame.
Because they were obviously just black silhouette.
Yeah. So Mark Cerny delivered not a state of play. It was a online conference around the PS5. Now, this was the original presentation that they intended for GDC. So, in terms of what they were going to talk about or what was to be mentioned, Mark Cerny's there. It's for GDC. I'm like, this shit's going to get nerdy. It's going to get so fucking nerdy.
It wasn't for your average consumer.
Yes. Saying that, though, PlayStation did post, it's the reveal event for the PS5. Everyone's like, woo! So I get up at 3 in the morning. I'm like, well, if it's Mark Cerny, I know it's going to be specs, so I'll wait till the next day. And then I saw these posts. I'm like, fuck, I guess I better get up. So I got up 3 in the morning to watch it. Got a bunch of information thrown at me. Went, oh, that's cool, I guess. Went back to bed.
So I listened to it while I was at work. I had it running. I was just listening.
How did you fall asleep, man? Mark Cerny has the most ASMR voice I've ever heard. He looks like Garth from Wayne's World.
Well, that was the first thing I said to you after. I'm like, his voice does not fit what he looks like.
It looks like a combination of Garth from Wayne's World mixed with the guy who was played that movie, The Master of Disguise, whose name I can never remember. But he. What I love about Mark Cerny is you can tell he's like nerdy as shit, and like that he's passionate. Like it's that same sort of like focus. He's like, look, I'm going to tell you all these nitty gritty and detailed numbers. Like, he is the right person to have as a system architect because he gives a fuck, and it was awesome in terms of delivering that space. But in short, they discuss all the internals of the PS5. They talk about what their goals were, their ambitions were, discussing the idea between evolution and revolution from a console, and how that played into parts of what they wanted to do moving into this generation. Some of the new features, they elaborated more on the SSD. They elaborated a bit more on fan noise. Thank fuck. They're playing Doom. It's like, boo, in this room, and like streaming it on Thursday, you could literally hear it coming through the mic. I had to put a noise gate on.
Shout out to Paludian for the follow. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Paludian, but it's like a paladin, but not quite. Thank you very much for the follow, mate.
Look, it was great. He threw a lot of numbers at you very quickly. The work on the 3D audio sounded fantastic. Then he's like, shortly afterwards, I was looking at the tweets, and there's just people sending photos of their ears to him because he did ask specifically.
We'll go into it bit by bit as we go, but
so I think it went for about 50 to 55,
just under an hour,
yeah, and it threw a lot of stuff at us. And the big takeaway, I think, was they really doubled down on their hard drive. They wanted to be able to eliminate load times, essentially. And I don't know what I'm going to do without my little quick tips and my load my loading screen.
There are sometimes those quick tips really save the day.
I think what they've done with it is fantastic. They've really focused on what they want out of this console, and the way he said that he spent the better half of the last half of last year traveling to big developers and saying, what is important,
100 and something of them, he said.
What is important to you guys in a next gen console? Like, what is it that you need to make better stuff? And they're like, we want this, and this. Is like, all right, you've got it.
All right, well, that's the plan.
That's what we'll do then.
All right, so let's kick things off now, because you're a bit more of a computer specs knowledge guy than I am, correct?
A little bit.
So let's run through, because they announced the official specs of the PS5. and let's go through it and let me just butcher it with my limited to no knowledge. Let's go.
So the tech specs that they announced was a CPU. They've got an 8 times Zen 2 cores at 3.5 gigahertz at running at a variable frequency.
So I'm a big fan of this because I'm a big fan of AMD's Ryzen series. I think those CPUs are fantastic. They're really good at sort of multi-core usage, and I think during as we start finding consoles that do more streaming and then they're playing bigger and more important games, I think that multi-core process, I'm talking about my asshole right now. All the multi-core threads and bullshit. I don't know. I have a Ryzen in my computer and it runs 90 times better than my old computer.
Yeah, it just multitasks better.
Yeah,
it's as simply put. The GPU is a 10.28 teraflops, 36 CUs at 2.23 gigahertz, also running at a variable frequency. So
it is currently less than the announced 12 teraflops on the Xbox. However, even in the presentation, PlayStation were like, look, it's not about the amount of teraflops you have, it's how you use them, right?
Yeah, because the Xbox has 54 or 56 CUs, I believe. So
units.
So a bit more than what the PS5 does have in it, but they run at a lower frequency, whereas the PlayStation runs at a higher frequency.
So less but higher.
Yeah.
Okay. So the big argument online has been the numbers of teraflops. Now, I understand that from at least a technical perspective, they may deliver similar, but the number seems higher. Do you think this number will persuade people to swing to an Xbox?
I don't think so. I mean,
because I'm talking about the general consumer. If they were to ask which is more powerful, and someone goes, well, this one has more flops.
But see, at the end of the day, I don't think the people that are buying consoles are going, I want the most powerful console. I want the console where the games I love are going to be.
Okay.
Now, Xbox, sorry, go.
In the chat, good friend Craig goes, I always thought a teraflop sounded like another name for erectile dysfunction, which you are correct. However, it's spelt differently. A teraflop, a TERA flop, is a unit of calculation in a graphics card. A TERROR, a teraflop, is erectile dysfunction.
Yeah.
Because you fear that shit.
So obviously, with this generation of PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, it's undoubted that the stronger console, the more powerful console was the Xbox. And if you were
unquestionably,
if you were just a third party game player, sure, you may gravitate towards the Xbox because that is the most powerful console as it is. But it's Sony's first party stuff that really brings you into their system.
And that's very true. And like the single player, like in terms of what the first party games that PlayStation deliver, for many people are the thing that keeps them there. But there are some those that play your Call of Duties or your FIFAs, the games that will forever be on everything. There is a discussion because I know I've had discussions with clients, with friends, and whichever, and they've gone, which is more powerful? Because the idea for them is, well, I'm going to spend $600. Which one will go longer for me? What the fuck was that?
I have no idea. Sounded like it came from outside. Might have been next door neighbor. Yeah, it was the next door neighbor.
Yeah, but something it hit whatever it was hit our house.
Did that say sorry or did he say?
Oh,
honey?
that's sorry. All right, cool.
Did he say sorry or honey?
I don't know. Just scared the shit out of me. Sorry, everyone. Just random house noises.
But I mean, at the end of the day, the tech specs for the next gen consoles, they're both using the same GPU architecture. They're both using custom RDNA 2 stuff.
Is that just my front area?
So, I think overall they're going to be very similar in specs. There'll be a few that will bring one across from the other. There are a few differences. We move on to memory. So it's got a 16 gigs of GDDR6 RAM at 256-bit. I believe Xbox has the same.
Yep.
The bandwidth memory, 448 gig a second. Beautiful. Love it.
So explain that to me because I'm an idiot.
So it's just how quickly it can read and process all the stuff.
All right, sweet.
So
cool.
that's what you want.
So what was it previously? Like, what's a standard benchmark, and why is this better?
honestly, I don't know what the PS4 is running at.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell you.
But like gigabits per second sounds awesome fast.
Yeah. Well, it's ideally what we want.
Yeah.
Because I mean, PlayStation games these days, some of them go up to 100 gig. So you got to be able to, and because they're currently on standard hard drives, there's segmented memory, so it's got to pull from one part of the hard drive, the other part. It's got to, yeah.
Well, because the big shift towards an SSD will assist with that. Because didn't they mention they were using a variant of an M.2?
Yeah, so they're using a custom solid state drive. It's 825 gig, which is such a random number, in my opinion.
But they mentioned that there was a reasoning for it. There's some method to the madness here.
Yeah, so they've got it's got a custom chip in it that allows them to pull their data really quickly. It was interesting because I wonder if the 825 gig is the total size of the drive minus what the firmware and the OS takes up, or if it's 825 gig after that.
Yeah, when they mentioned the 825, I was under the impression it'd be a 1 terabyte and it brought down 802.
So that'll be interesting. There is expandable storage, so you just need to buy an NVMe.
M.2,
yeah.
Which they did mention to, as of right now, don't go rush out and buy an M.2.
Well, they said as of right now, none of them are compatible.
Yeah.
They don't reach the read-write speed that they currently need to work with their custom processor chip. So you won't get... They said that they will start testing them after launch and they will let players know which ones are good. Mm-hmm. But they also mentioned that there's no standardized sizing for them. So you need to not only find one that will fit in the slot in your PS5, you need to make sure it has a fast enough read-write speed or it won't work properly anyway.
That sounds a whole lot proprietary, but
it's not. They're just using standard.
Yeah,
they're using standard drives, whereas Microsoft are using a proprietary memory card.
To plug it in the back.
It's a 1 terabyte solid state memory card.
So it does line up with a pattern that we saw last year around like little hard drivey thingies from PlayStation, but. Okay, I'm glad. It's interesting to see that. But because an example, like my PS4, right? I just bought a standard laptop hard drive. I got like a 3 terabyte bastard in there, and I literally unplugged it because I bought a brand. When I bought the Pro, I went and bought it. So while that was being delivered, I went and picked up the hard drive. So the day I got it, was and swapped it out and it was done. And it was super easy. I didn't have to think too hard about it. But I guess they didn't. It didn't matter that it wasn't this exact one that they've got now.
They also support external hard drives, so standard USB hard drive support. It does have a 4K UHD Blu-ray drive in it this time, which is nice.
Fuck it.
Because it should have been in the Pro.
God damn, it should have been in the Pro.
But the real big bit is the IO throughput for their solid state drive. It has a 5.5 gigabyte raw read speed, but with their compressed files, it'll read 8 to 9 gig a second. So
that's brutal.
You know that bullshit when you download a game on PlayStation, it's like, hey man, we've got a patch for you, and it spends like 3 hours copying after you've downloaded the file.
So what they're doing on that, for everyone that may not know, is they are essentially take a full copy of the save game, put it to your game data, right? Say you have Call of Duty, and that game is currently 100 gigs on your hard drive. So they need another 100 free for them to take that file, put it over here, and then go, okay, the game data's safe. So we're gonna make a copy of that. We're gonna fuck with the new one, so that way we'll put the patch on it. And for any reason, if that patch fails, you've still got your original game data.
Yeah, basically what they do is they stick them side by side. And then they go, okay, here's the actual patched bits, and they'll slide those into the other file once it's ready, and then they'll bail on the
they'll delete the old one. It's just more of a safety precaution. Because if they're like, look, the download fucked up and your entire game software is gone. Sorry about that. Like that would cause so much more problems than if there's just minor copying.
So Mark Cerny actually spoke about that in detail, and it's basically like that's going to be gone now. It's not going to happen anymore. We've realized that it's super frustrating, but it's going to be eliminated.
So it sounds like they're almost allocating a small part of the hard drive just for that copying stuff.
Yeah.
So they're allowing like I would say storage and or RAM, just like a little bit of offset to go. All right, dump it in here. All right, bring it back in. Cool. So in terms of the specs as they stand, how are you feeling?
Look, I think the move to a solid state drive is absolutely fantastic. It's running at the equivalent of, I think it was like 4 times more powerful than the current PlayStation architecture. Pro, yeah. I think that's what they said. So that's great. I think at the end of the day, everything's just newer, better. They've really taken, having watched it, Mark Cerny and the team, the architecture team for designing this, they've really taken the time and care and been like, this is what the standard should be now, and this is what we're going to do for it.
Cool. It is disappointing that I agree with you. Like on paper, I'm like, that sounds good.
Yeah.
In terms of an improvement from 4 to now, or even compared to the Xbox One Series X, I'm like, look, they're similar enough. Pardon me. So they're similar enough that I'm like, okay. Well, I'm still not buying a Series X because the nature of the show, the nature of the games that I want to play are on PlayStation. So it doesn't matter that they're different or even similar. I'm like, okay. But it's cool to have that information out there. So we have had information in the wild in the past, especially that Wired article from last year. However, that did not talk in as specifics as we saw here today. They
also brought up backwards compatibility because obviously that
readjust my underpants.
Yes, because obviously backwards compatibility was has been a big thing this generation. A lot of people wanted to be able to play all their old games. Sony addressed during the deep dive whether it'll be fully backwards compatible with the PlayStation 4 or any previous PlayStation platforms. While the latter always looked unlikely, the Japanese giant had already said that the next-gen console would be compatible with its current system. But Mark Cerny's wording during the deep dive was ambiguous at best.
This has since been updated.
This has since been updated. And it's left, well, especially me, I was slightly confused. So, what he said during the broadcast, quote, "We recently took a look at the top 100 PS4 titles as ranked by playtime, and we're expecting almost all of them to be playable at launch on the PS5.
So the point he was getting at here is he discussed about the idea of the way the PS5 will work in terms of upscaling and rendering, giving a bit more of a boost. They have to be tested on a title by title basis. So as it stands right now, they ran the top, as you said, the top 100 games to give them a burl and see how they went under the new architecture. And they are the ones that they've sampled. Now, since then, they've come out and saying that no, there's like 4,000 PS4 titles and most of them will play, but in order to get the most out of them, we have to go one by one.
Yeah, so in a PlayStation blog post, Sony now says that, quote, "The overwhelming majority of the 4,000 plus PS4 titles will be playable on PS5. Perhaps the most exciting of all, the manufacturer expects, quote, titles will run at a boosted frequency on PS5 so that they can benefit from higher or more stable frame rates and potentially higher resolution. We're currently evaluating games on a title-by-title basis to spot any issues that need adjustments from the original software developers."
Which makes sense because this is what Xbox does.
Yes. The manufacturer says that it's, quote, "already tested hundreds of titles and are preparing to test thousands more as we move towards the launch."
There is one thing here that is a point of concern. So PlayStation have now made announcements 3 times in regards to backwards compatibility, and all 3 times they've been left in confusion.
They also still haven't given us a definitive answer on if we're going to be able to play PS1, 2, and 3 titles as
Correct.
well. They've just said your PlayStation 4 games will work off the disc. I would imagine any of those PlayStation 2 games that are now available on PS4, they will all work because they work with the PlayStation 4 architecture. But there's still no definitive, yes, you can play all PlayStation games. So far, it's just you will be able to play all the PlayStation 4
But it might be a thing
titles.
there to work because even Xbox, when they came out with the Xbox One, they said, look, it's impossible. We cannot do it. And then they worked on it and they sorted it out. And it's one of those things because once the console had been released, that freed up their brain's trust to work on it. And I think they may do the same thing here.
Obviously, the other hard thing is licensing issues. I know with Microsoft there are some games that they just can't do because of licensing issues, which is a real bummer because one of them is one of my favorite games of all time.
Cheers.
Shout out to Jet Set Radio Future. Sega just do not have the license to the music anymore, therefore the game cannot be re-released.
Yeah. And I think that's probably one of the big concerns around PS1 and PS2.
Yeah, so I would imagine
like those when those agreements were made, they didn't even consider digital or reproducing or remasters or whatever. They just wasn't in that contract.
Yeah. So that'll be an interesting part to
So
play.
what's your thoughts on this around? Because backwards compatibility for me isn't a big deal. However, the PS4 part is very much so. Because
I think as long as they nail the PS4 backwards compatibility, so that way, especially with the way that the world is at the moment with this virus running rampant and things getting delayed left, right, and center, they need to have a stable library of games ready for their launch of their next gen console, even if that means I'm playing up-resed God of War.
Yeah. So the point I was, because since we've started working in the biz, so the last 5+ years, like all that has come from PS4. So our library is way larger than it ever was in any previous generation. So I guess I didn't care back then. And I'm slightly more caring now because I'm like, well, there's all these games that we've accumulated for reviews and whatnot, and I would like to go back to them at some point. I'd like the choice to go back to them at some point.
But I mean, technically, you always have the choice. You just have to plug in your old console.
Yeah, but my console looks like a fucking, it's a fucking effort. And it's one of those things like it's backwards compatibility is one of the most consumer friendly in terms of marketing. However, the numbers from last I heard, in terms of from last I read, was were that it isn't used as much as you think it is.
It probably isn't, but people just want to know that their money's not
it is
so
security
wasted.
As well, yeah. Because I've not really. Because I have an Xbox and I barely fucking touch it, let alone the old games on it. Once again, we aren't the conventional.
No, we're definitely
player
not
base.
Conventional consumer.
Like we're not going to go we're always moving forward. We very rarely have time to look back.
So Sony's PlayStation 5 deep dive reveal this week was targeted at developers instead of the consumer. So how did the development community across the globe actually react to the presentation? It appears that those who decided to post their thoughts to Twitter couldn't be more positive about the next-gen console. Awesome. The ones who managed to understand Mark Cerny's technical jargon appear to be incredibly excited about the PS5 solid-state drive and its 3D audio capabilities in particular. Two features that are getting so hyped and more... They're getting so hyped the more we come to understand their function. So let's take a look at what they've been saying.
All right.
The Last of Us Part 2's co-game director, Kurt... Sorry, I'm going to butcher your last name. Marganel?
Sure.
Yeah. Went as far to say that the PS5 solid-state drive is the biggest hardware leap in his career. Quote, still tripping about the PS5 solid-state drive spec. Like, people don't even know how big of a leap in terms of game design can be made, especially for first party that doesn't have to design to lowest common denominator.
Okay. That's my point there. So, it's rad that they feel that way. However, do they feel that way? Because tinfoil hat, if they're a first party studio, they'll be like, PS5 is fucking great.
Yeah.
Like they interview this dude from Buttfire, some random ass Deb, or are they all first parties that have made yells?
Former Insomniac Games developer James Cooper agreed with the sentiment, detailing how the solid-state drive will aid level streaming. In fact, that's a feature we've already theorized will get rid of hidden load screens, a classic element in the likes of Uncharted and Tomb Raider.
Yep.
Also played a part in Marvel's Spider-Man. They're loading while you're on that train. That's what they're doing.
Yep. You're
sitting on the subway fast traveling, they're loading that world, son. Same with... God of War's walking circles around that.
You're in the little tree thingy.
In the tree world. 3D audio is another feature Sony is pushing hard in the lead up to launch, with sound designers already weighing in how much this is a game changer. One VR developer described it as, quote, a dream come true, to see the platform holder putting the focus on audio to such a degree. It's so motivating. Meanwhile, the composer of PlayStation 4 Game Wizard of Legend, Dale North, is just as excited about all this. So it was interesting because Mark Cerny mentioned that they had this 3D audio design tech in the PS3.
Yes.
But they couldn't get it to work with the PS4.
Yeah, which is pretty... From what I remember, like, yeah. I remember that because I've got the old Sony Pulses from back on the PS3, and they things were amazing. The 3D audio and that was very, very cool.
Buddy Watson in the chat, Bethesda developer also said it was super impressed by it, so I'm thinking you can remove the tinfoil hat.
Sick. Because, as the thing, even though PlayStation show, we love the PlayStations, I'm always very cautious.
But that's the thing, though. This gen, they did have to develop for the lowest common denominator. Like, they had to... It had to run on a standard PlayStation 4, not just the Pro. And the same with Microsoft. It had to run on the basic
And that's
model.
my fear with the Series X.
Yeah, because they're definitely all about their family of consoles. If it runs on one, it's going to run on all of them.
Like, here's Halo Infinite. It looks like garbage on the Xbox One, but it looks pretty sick on the Series X.
Yeah. He also went into detail about how...
so the 3D audio, right?
Yeah,
So he did this little, like, e-scan thing.
Yeah, so they scanned the inside of his ears, because obviously everyone's ears are different, much like their fingerprint, so you hear sounds differently in a 3D audio space. So they essentially scanned his ear for how it works, and then mapped it out digitally, and then they inputted that into their 3D audio design.
But they also scanned like hundreds of people to sort of really get a good average.
Yeah, so they said that at launch, they said like 30 or something different settings you could pick from. There'd be like a little slider that they do some sounds for you, and you'd be like, oh, this one sounded the best, this one sounded the best. And you would get the best immersion of the 3D audio.
Yeah.
Like the closer it is to your ear setup, the better it'll be.
I really like that because I am a little deaf in my right ear. So due to being born preemie, I have shit hearing in my right ear. Like, it's just one of those side effects. It just fucked. I don't know what fuck went wrong, but it sucks. So, like, whenever I use 3D audio headphones, I don't really feel it. Like, my left side, I'm like... And here I'm like... Like, I can't really tell it over here, but if I can tweak it to really benefit, like take it, not take advantage, but work around my hearing issue, then it's a win.
They also did, Mark Cerny also did mention that for now it's only working with headphones, but they aim to bring it to surround sound systems, sound bars.
Because they mentioned as well that the way they're developing 3D audio, it's not as simple as it's Dolby Atmos.
Yeah.
They want to have it fit a bunch across a different extensions of the word they use.
I think Dolby Atmos, they said something about it lacking the amount of whatever it was that they were looking for.
Yeah, because like Atmos is pretty much the cinema standard right now.
Yeah.
So if you want a ripper cinema sound experience, Dolby Atmos is where it's at. So I think that, so they're taking that in. I'm sure they'll take a bunch of lossless formats in it. Formats! That's the word I wanted, not extensions. So I think they're looking across the board of a bunch of different formats to really sort of get the hearing that you want.
Yeah, buddy was in the chat, the lack of soundbar support is hideous. They did say that it was going to be coming. They said it might not be ready at launch. I mean, who plays with soundbars anyway? I must admit, I only play with headphones on.
See, we have a soundbar, but our soundbar has back speakers. Because
should also have Atmos support.
They should have Atmos, but I imagine they would.
It depends. I mean, if theirs works better, why would they support something else?
Well, because like for those that like have just a soundbar, ooh. But like then again, if you only use TV speakers, double ooh. Like, so when I bought the soundbar, I went, I need back speakers for this motherfucker. Like, there's no way that I'm going with just this. Like, we have a pretty decent like Samsung soundbar. I love it. But you gotta have those back speakers. Have to. Have to.
I don't know. I only play games with headphones on.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I used to be that way when like my wife would just fuck off the end of that. Like, we would just like split and sit the other end of the house for a little while. But now we have a child, and he'll want to run out and be like, "Hey, Daddy, what are you doing?"
I must admit, I play with one ear cup off most of the time these days, just in case I'm like, oh, my child's crying, I could go.
Exactly, and like that's the exact reason that I don't play with headphones much anymore. Even when you want to voice chat, it's one off.
Although lately it's when my wife and kid are in the bedroom, it's like bedroom door closed, study door closed, headphones on.
Yeah.
And then everyone else is like, dude, your kid's crying. Really? I can't hear anything. release date. So Sony is still planning to release the PlayStation 5 at some point during holiday 2020, despite coronavirus threatening to disrupt its plans.
Voldemort virus.
The news comes courtesy of BAAS Amsterdam, the organization responsible for handling public relations for Sony Interactive Entertainment. I don't speak that language. Benelux?
Sure, we'll go
I
with
think.
that.
Apparently, a museum in Zwolle has already started assembling a PS5 experience zone, which will be one of the first places attendees will be able to get a taste of the Japanese giant's next-gen device. Quote, "Our museum will receive the PS5 as one of the first in the Netherlands," said the owner. "We are already preparing for this so that visitors can experience the differences between the PS4 and PS5 themselves. But will the viruses affect the platform holders' plans? According to BAAS Amsterdam, everything is still on track. Unfortunately, it's not exactly the most certain of sources. The PR team will be working towards Sony's specification, and it's unlikely to be aware of any potential changes behind the scenes." Effectively, the PS5 is still officially scheduled to release holiday 2020, and that will remain true until something changes. Obviously.
That thing's getting fucking delayed. I guarantee you it's getting delayed. Like, I want it so bad. There's either two options, right? Either there is such a limited amount at launch that it'll be like cutthroat, and then everything else will be like. Because I imagine they've at least got a base foundation, right?
You thought the fight for toilet paper was bad. Just wait until they release 100 PS5s in Australia.
It'd be one of those things where it'll get sent to the likes of all the press and, you know, a select few influencers, and then the public waits. That's what will happen. Is how I see it personally. Like, they may have like 200,000. Like, I'm exaggerating. Like, David's gonna be that many, but like, and PS4 sold 1 million consoles at launch on day one. That's probably not going to happen at the moment.
They'll have that in pre-orders, but no one's getting them.
Yeah. The second they do go up for pre-orders, I'm putting one down because I have things going to be rough, and we're going to do our very best to have one at launch for the show, and just for me personally, of course.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing the same thing as soon as that pre-order's live.
Yeah. I'm going to get right in there, get on that ready to go. But I am of the mind that it'll be delayed for many because of access. And it may still release at its original, what was my prediction? Was it mid-October or mid-November? I'm going to say back end of October now. I forget what it was. But yeah, it will come out in that time window still, but just be so hard to get one. Near impossible to get one.
Yeah, definitely.
But, so you're in a like-minded...
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Like, with a lot of because a lot of this stuff's manufactured in China. China's manufacturing is almost being completely shut down. It makes sense that unless they've been making them for the last X amount of months, there's just probably not going to be enough ready to go. Yeah,
and I think that's probably the big difference is that because there will be a simple backlog of tech. Right, whether it be switches, phones, fucking Apple watches, just watches in general, other assorted tech shit that gets made out of China, especially out of Foxconn in China, is that there will be a ripple effect, and they will have. It's that weird line of like, do they then prioritize by money, but then who will have money by the time they can start going again? I do wonder where it's gonna swing. My stance, as I said, but it'll be one of those things that, like, look, we just simply cannot manufacture enough. We're already three orders deep right now with, fucking Samsung phones. We won't have time.
Yeah. So, according to Push Square, there is much more PS5 news coming in the months ahead.
Sweet.
When do you expect Sony to talk about the PlayStation 5 next?
Tuesday.
It's not Tuesday. That's the question we asked in our regularly scheduled poll. But now we have a small indication from the manufacturer about when we can anticipate more on the next-gen device. As part of its PS5 backwards compatibility update today, the organization said that it'll provide, quote, much more PS5 news in the months ahead.
Okay. Months? Vague?
Yeah, super vague. What does that mean?
It means at some point within the next year or within the next months. So that could be 2 months. That could be 5 months. Fuck, that could be 38 months.
Does that mean we're getting a state of play at around the time that E3 would have existed had it still been existing?
Oh, yeah, we are. Like, yes. Because one of those things like E3's not here, and then they still somehow find a way to win the conversation. Probably what's going to happen.
Well, we still don't know what it looks like.
No.
We still don't know how many dollary dues it's gonna burn us for.
No idea.
We still don't have an actual release date for it.
No.
There's still so much that they've got to talk about. Yeah. We haven't really heard too much about its lineup, its launch title lineup.
Not a little bit.
We've got that weird Godfall.
Yeah,
Greedfall.
Greed. Yeah, greed. Greedfall.
And that's it. Like,
well, but then again, look, once again, comparatively, Xbox, we know what it looks like. That's one over, right? No price, no release date.
Coming with Halo Infinite.
The only thing we know is Halo Infinite. So in terms of the differences, there is just two things that they've said that are different. Godfall. Oh, then what the fuck's Greedfall?
I think Greedfall is that pirate RPG thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
I always get them confused.
Yeah, I don't know.
I knew it was Fall.
It's something Fall.
But
yeah, so the idea is like they've like granted they've got two things, and those two things
buddy.
are still kind. Greedfall. That's why I'm hearing it, because it's already out. Thank you, buddy, for keeping us on toe. But yeah, so like how it looks, that's a big thing. That is unquestionably an advantage that the Xbox Series X has.
I mean, realistically,
over.
It's probably just going to look like
it's a
PS5.
fucking box.
It's going to be a black box. It's going to have some blue lights on it.
It's going to have a PS5 logo on there somewhere. Congratulations. There it is. I've shown you what it looks like.
Hopefully it's got physical buttons and not those like fake buttons again. Because
Halo Infinite's a big one, of course, for your launch title, and that is a massive selling point. Then PlayStation have not said anything as that's coming out, and that is of a concern. But I think that's more of a situation of they know that it may be delayed. There is a concern that it's going to be delayed, and like Xbox may hit. Maybe they're a step ahead. They still may hit date, and PlayStation are a step behind. That could be true too. So I understand their sheepishness on giving out information, but there's certainly, why not be like, look, here's what it looks like. This is the window we're aiming for. Estimated. I understand why they can't do estimated price yet, because it's just too fucking chaos right now. But they could still talk about launch games, right?
yeah, you would hope that they could talk about launch games.
Yeah, you damn hope so. But let us know what you thought of Mark Cerny's presentation, the information that was given. Do you think that the PS5 will be delayed into 2021? Let us know. Comments below. Facebook group, Twitter, all those things. Now, the little thing that comes at the end with your name that has the PopC Twitter handle. I need to change that to put yours on there now that you are more active.
I am
on the
trying
tweets.
to be way more active on Twitter.
So that is BePossessed101.
Mm-hmm.
Come follow.
It's also my gamer tag on like everything.
Yeah, so all our gamer tags and stuff are in the description as well. So if you want to come play with us or even just follow us on the consoles, you're welcome to do so. I'm incredibly active on Twitter.
I'm trying.
We'll get you there.
I still don't quite understand it.
It's just yelling at the void.
I'm getting there.
Yeah, for me, it's more of just help getting you involved with other creators and stuff. It's a good thing to become a part of, because we also need to redesign the website too. Because the website's covered in like my face and Josh's face and Dylan's face, and we need to rejigger it and get you and Jem in there. It's like we'll do a photo shoot one day, only sort of sexy.
Only sort of sexy.
Yeah, just a little bit sexy, just a little bit, so that we can get the old branding updated.
Maybe that can be one of the Patreon rewards. We'll do
a sexy calendar.
We'll do a sexy PopC calendar.
Oh, everyone's gonna buy it for Jem. Like what months are Gem in? February, June, and October. Cool. Can I have just those 3 months? Like, God damn it. Damn it, Gem. But anyways, look, as we said, the launch games for the PS5. The PS5 itself could be so fucking far away. We have no idea when it's ever going to come out. However, there are some things we know that are coming out this week, and that is what we'll be talking about right now in this section called Coming to the Players. We tell you about what games are coming out this week. That was extended and bloated.
That was a beautiful segue.
Was it really? I thought it was a bit bloated.
It was a bit bloated, but it was beautifully handled.
Thank you very much.
So, the new PlayStation games for March 24th, 2020. Again, this is the PlayStation blog US, so some dates may change, some games may not exist for us Aussies.
May come out at a later date.
May come out at a later date. RFL Enhanced Edition, PS4 Digital, out March 26th.
That's fucking dumb.
Oh, that was great. Dissection, PS4 Digital.
wonder if that's a sequel to Infliction that I played the other week. No, it is not.
Dogurai, PS4 digital.
Samurai Dog. Is it?
No.
Damn.
Dark Souls Plus, PS4, PS Vita, digital cross-buy.
You what?
Run, jump, and dash your way through traps to collect all the eggs. Dark Souls Plus is a fast-paced action platformer about a little duck with an incredible skill to dash and a mission. Find all the eggs to save his species. Sounds great.
I'm in.
Element Space, PS4 digital.
No idea.
Freedom Finger, PS4 digital.
Hot.
Mechorama, PS4, PS Vita digital cross-buy, out March 26th. Moons of Madness, PS4 digital.
It's like a skateboarding game.
Odalis, The Dark Call, PS4 digital. One Piece, Pirate Warriors 4, PS4 digital retail, out March 27th.
Get weaved.
Get weaved. Oniken, PS4 digital, out March 24th.
Get weaved again.
Paper Beast, PS4, PSVR digital. Sorry.
So this is a game that we saw in a state of play semi-recently. Now, so an opportunity came to review this. Like a code was like, "Hey, you want one?" And I was like, "No, nothing against the game." I was like, "Oh, probably not."
Yeah, because you asked me about it, and I said the same thing. I'm like, I don't think I'm artistically minded enough to appreciate what this game
And
is.
I agree. I come in the same boat. I agree, Max. You are not capable.
So I'll read the thing for it. Experience a dreamlike odyssey through a wild and simulated ecosystem. Take off on an adventure. Connect with exotic and surprising creatures. Shape the environment to solve puzzles, or let your own imagination guide you through an immersive sandbox. Yeah, I don't think I could do it.
Nah.
I'm struggling with dreams.
Yeah, big time, eh? Big time.
The Room VR, A Dark Matter, PSVR digital, out March 26th.
I hope it's not a VR version of the Room, the Brie Larson film, because that was fucking horrifying. A great film, but really scary shit. Don't do that.
If this is like an escape room in VR, I think it is so keen.
Actually, I think it is. Read the description.
The British Institute of Archaeology, London.
I just saw the next one.
Just reading this, just wait. Just gonna scroll up. The disappearance of an esteemed Egyptologist prompts a police investigation into the unknown. Explore cryptic locations, examine fantastic gadgets, and enter an otherworldly space, which blurs the line between reality and illusion in the Room VR, A Dark Matter.
Is it escape room?
Might have to pick this up.
Fuck it. Next one.
Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy.
I know this was coming.
Digital, out March 26th.
Read that mother liquor out.
The online multiplayer classic comes to PS4 with trophies and modernized controls. Take on the role of a new student eager to learn the ways of the Force from Jedi Master Luke Skywalker.
Yes!
Interact with famous Star Wars characters as you face the ultimate choice. Fight for good and freedom on the light side, or follow the path of power and evil to the dark side.
Give me Jedi Academy. I had no idea this was coming out this week. I didn't know it was coming out on consoles at all.
Didn't you? I knew it was coming out.
I knew like Jedi Knight 2 Outcast is on. That came out in like a bundle a couple of years ago. I remember them saying that it might come out at some point, but
I still own this on PC.
Me too. It's like
So
I have it on a disc somewhere in the study, and I have it on I downloaded it as well.
Twin Breaker, A Sacred Symbols Adventure.
So, if you want a better PlayStation podcast, go check out Sacred Symbols. It's the one that's run by Colin Moriarty of Beyond, Beyond and IGN, as well as Kind of Funny, and Chris Raygun. They are releasing their game this week. It is a brick breaker style game in the sort of eyes of like Arkanoid, stuff like that. I'm picking it up because I'm a big fan. So for me, it's supporting them. Can you read the description out for me?
So I can. The United States sends generation ships to nearby star systems to find new planets to colonize, but once in interstellar space, the ships mysteriously disappear. When clues emerge about the missing spacecraft, two pilots jump through a wormhole into a story-driven brick breaker in the spirit of Arkanoid and Breakout.
Rad. Get to it.
You like get to it. Vampire the Masquerade. Coteries of New York. PS4 digital.
That's not the
March
one that you had in our draft.
What? No, it's not.
That's why I grabbed the book.
Okay. Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution, PS4 digital.
Is Yu-Gi-Oh still a thing?
Man, I own the other Legacy of the Duelist. If this is... I might have to get this.
Well, because like Yu-Gi-Oh was just coming in as I was hitting like year 7. So I was like, oh, what the fuck is any of this? Is it still relevant? Is it still going?
I don't know if the anime series is going. I know it's all on one of the streaming services that I have. But I know some of my real life friends play Pokemon trading card Yu-Gi-Oh every week, man.
Well, yeah.
It's still rampant.
With my day job, like, yeah, some of our clients, they play Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon cards. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's like, it's still as relevant ever in a trading game, but like...
Yeah, I don't know if there's a series running anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, well.
I haven't seen it in a very long time.
Maybe I have to check it out. But look, while we're here, that's the drop. That's all the games that are coming out this week.
That's all the games.
Can you pull open Metacritic for me, please?
I can open Metacritic for you.
So, for those that don't know, at the start of this year, we did a fantasy video game draft where we would we picked 8 games each, and then the collected Metacritic score would become this. Now, we'll grab them. So we're grabbing the scores as they are now, to the games that have released. Then at the end of the year, we'll check them again because they will alter, and then we'll see where we're at. So my list, as for those playing at home: Last of Us Part 2, Resident Evil 3 Remake, Doom Eternal, Marvel's Avengers, MLB The Show 20, Little Nightmares 2, Predator Hunting Grounds, and Dreams. Max, yours was Cyberpunk 2077, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Watch Dogs Legion, Ghost of Tsushima, Persona 5 The Royal, which has come the 3rd highest reviewed score on Metacritic.
It's got a banger score on Metacritic.
So that's a big one for you. Iron Man VR, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. So let's catch up and see where we're at. So Doom Eternal,
big old 87.
87. Damn it, that's a bit less than I thought.
It's a shame.
All right, so
are we using an aggregated score? Because the PS4 score is 87, but the PC and Xbox scores are much higher.
Oh, no, we're using the PS4 scores.
Okay, well, that's...
So 87 on PS4, that's a bit bum, but okay. MLB The Show.
MLB The Show 20.
Mm-hmm. Drum roll.
Big old 84.
84. Okay. All right. Still, 80s are cool. 80s are very good. Persona 5 The Royal. What's that at now?
Watch it not come up. No, that's because it's Persona 5 Royal. It's a big old 96, Betson.
Bam!
Big old 96. That's going to cover my...
that really covered your Kakarot.
That's going to cover my Legion that's not coming out this year.
So, yeah, so far, Doom Eternal for me is at 87. MLB The Show 84, as we discussed. Dreams with a 92, so that nicely helped me out. But, yeah, so you've only got 2 at the moment. Persona 5, 96. That's fucking not near perfect. That's brilliant. Look, at 96, I kind of want to pick it up.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick it up. It comes out at the end of the month, yeah.
Like, I know I give Dash a lot of shit.
Do I have time to play Persona 5 The Royal?
We'll find a reason. Because like I give Dash so much shit, but I really enjoyed it when I played it the first time. I just got distracted.
It's hard because it's hard when you go to someone, the game gets good in like 20 hours.
Like fuck that.
Like it's like when people be like, yeah, watch Buffy from season 2 onwards.
See, the one advantage that
Dash is just playing. Stop making excuses. Dash, I've almost platinumed the original Persona 5.
Dash has got like 800,000 hours
I'm like, do I want to do it again?
You won't pick it up. No, I probably will. I'll get stuck. I picked Animal Crossing up because out of a whim, so it's very likely that I might.
600 hours.
800 plus hours.
Does that say 800?
That's 800.
Oh, God. I've even got glasses on.
The one advantage you'll have is that a lot of my games are really early. So I'll get Resident Evil 3 in a couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. Predator is like fucking next week. Or the week after. Did it get delayed? Who knows? So a lot of yours are back ending the year. So you at least know the score you have to beat.
It's not like I can email them and go, guys, I need a good 97 from you.
Yes, it's out of your control, but in terms of the draft experience, it becomes a lot more fun when it's a little when you know
when I'm concerned, going, oh my god, I'm hoping Final Fantasy VII comes out with a banger score.
I think it will. I thought Doom would go higher, but that's cool.
I mean, 87
is still pretty tight.
Still pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, it's getting 90s on the other platforms.
So, yeah,
One of which PlayStation people hate Doom. bringing that score down.
Who knows?
Well, maybe more people have played it on PlayStation, so it's just
averaging out a little bit. I think I'd say that's probably the case. Like, look, because like we thought it was really good. We don't fucking count. We'll never count on Metacritic because we don't have written reviews. We'll that's the one problem that we have. A, we don't score our games, which is probably a big thing when we review them. Two, it's not written, so we're never going to appear on any aggregate thing. And three, like the same reason we'll never appear on anything.
It's probably good. None of our quotes are very box
What
suitable.
do you mean? What's wrong with my comment that Resident Evil 3 makes me moist in the front area? Like, Capcom Australia tweeted it. Granted, their PR team's our friends, but like, put that on the box is all I'm saying. Like, if someone said to you, "How good's this game?" Like, it made me moist in the front area. Like, that game's gonna be fucking good. That should be as 100% a positive on the game.
She says so. I mean, it depends on what kind of game.
Yeah. If you peed yourself or you had a great time. All right, bring this bad boy home.
Sometimes both. This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast surfaces, including Spotify, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join in that PlayStation conversation, head on over to our Facebook, Discord, Twitter, Instagram, all the links in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturiusts, where you can watch us record this show live, as well as our other show, The Young and the Wrestlers, our WWE in review show. It's good fun, really tough right now because there's one has a whole bunch of fucking nothing. But big thank you to the likes of Buddy and Dash and Craig and Omega Dark Blood for the follow, as well as Pelodian. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Big thank you to everyone that does come and join the chat as we do the show. It's a great way to get involved in the product, which it's great for us. Another way that you can get involved if you can't watch us live, you can share the conversation. You can tell your friends, you can tell your family about this straight up middle of the road PlayStation podcast. Like, look, it's not quite as good as some, but it goes all right. So if you'd like, go onto your podcast services of choice, give us a 5-star review or the star rating that you believe is most relevant, as well as a little written review and stuff like that, which is cool. If you want to support us financially, patreon.com/thepopculturists, as well as our merchandise store, popculturists.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that was For the Players. For the Players, the Pop Culturist PlayStation podcast is fan-supported at patreon.com/thepopculturists. And we'd like to thank our Patreon producers and our Patreon founders for their kindness, their support, and their generosity. Our Patreon founders: Alpha Ferret, Craig O'Flaherty, David Chataway, Jesse Stevenson, and Jacob Garner. And our Patreon producers: AJ Abatomi, Damien Holdies, Kyle Dunn, Lee Wintershoven, Nathan Massetti, Paul James, Pure Mongrel, and Sean Levitt.